Alright, so you have a problem. Your dreadlocks are thinning. Now, firstly, before I even get into this video, I want to make sure I actually know the difference between balding, thinning, or just a thin dreadlock. Or just a regular root that you're, kind of overreacting to. Now, if you're balding, that means hair is no longer growing there, which can definitely result in thinning. A thin dreadlock is automatically going to have a thin root because it's already a thin dreadlock. Like this dreadlock I have right here. It's very thin, so the root is very thin. But that doesn't mean my dreadlock is thinning. It just has a thin root because it's already a thin dreadlock. Now for a retwist. By default, if you retwist your hair, the root is already going to be skinnier than the rest of the dreadlock because the rest of the dreadlock is holding on to dead hair, and that's where a lot of the thickness comes from. And plus it just buds up and locks up and it kind of looks thicker once all that locking up stuff goes on. But with the loose hair on your roots, that's automatically going to look skinnier. So don't sweat it if it looks a little skinnier, or if it feels skinnier. Compare it to other dreadlock roots, how they feel. And if they feel the same, then there's nothing to worry about. But if you see the root of your dreadlock and you feel it and it feels way thinner than the rest of the roots of your dreadlocks, then that is thinning. Now, where can thinning come from? Thinning can come from, I don't know, especially on the hairline. If you get a lot of lineups really close to your hairline and stuff, or really close to where your dreads start, because without even knowing your barber, or even you yourself, if you cut your own hair, you can keep them slightly going back and back and back, with just snipping little hairs one by one, and over time the hair will be lost and you'll be feeling it. It'll be pretty thin. It can also come from stress, which stress can lead to balding, which balding is automatically going to lead to thinning. But if you're thinning, that doesn't automatically mean you're balding. It just may mean that some hair at the root has got separated from the dread and it needs to be recombined. What I mean by that is, if you feel one of your dreadlocks and you feel some loose hairs around it, that could be some hair that has separated from that dreadlock in some way, shape, or form. And all you would need to do is pull that hair back to the dreadlock with the crochet needle. But if that isn't available to you, you do have another choice, and that's to combine dreadlocks. Now there's two ways you could go about this. You could either combine it at the root to make it a Congo, or you could combine the whole thing to just make it a thicker dread. And I'm gonna show y'all exactly how to do that. I'm about to pull out one of my thinnest dreadlocks, which is why the root's so skinny. I'm just gonna twist it up so you actually see how skinny the root is. That's how skinny the root is right there. That's how skinny the root is. But what you want to do is grab another dreadlock next to it. You want to put your finger through the root. So on this side and this side, make sure it's even, because that could result in that dreadlock thinning and breaking off on one side because it doesn't have enough support on one side. And then all you want to do is take the tip of your thinning dreadlock, put it through the tip of the other dreadlock, and thread it through. Hopefully y'all can see that. Just thread it through like that, and boom, it's already combined at the root. But just to add extra support, you want to 2-strand twist it. But you could stop by just doing it at the root and leaving it like that if you just want it to be a 2-head Congo. But if you actually want the whole dread to be combined into a thicker dread, then you want to 2-strand twist it all the way throughout the length of the dread. And make sure you do it pretty tight, but not too tight where it's hurting your head. And then once you get to the tip, you'll oftentimes probably see that you have some dreadlocks that are longer than others, and that's normal. But once you get to the tip, you just want to make sure you rubber band that off, and boom, you have a combined dreadlock that isn't thinning anymore, but is now supported by the root of another dreadlock. And this will actually surprisingly lock up way faster than you think. In about 4 months, it should be all the way locked up together, and it will start looking more and more like one dreadlock and not a 2-strand twist. And if you want to speed up the process of it locking, you can use a crochet needle and go in and out with it, and you can instantly lock your hair up, and it'll already be combined and locked up and ready to go. But fixing thinning dreadlocks is very, very, very easy, as you see what I just did. And what this does is make sure that the root is supported, in that the root is thicker than what it was before. That's the whole point of combining it. But also another way that you can fix thinning dreadlocks is with fake hair. It might sound weird, but hear me out on this, because I actually seen people do this. I didn't even know people did this, but they do. Actually, locticians do this, but they will either take your hair that may be shaded out, and they will wrap it around the root of your hair, which basically thickens up the root. And then to lock that up, they will use a crochet needle and lock it all the way up. But with that, you will just have to make sure that you do something, because your root will still be thin once it grows out if there still isn't actual other hair like growing into it. So you'll either need to keep up with that process of keep on getting hairs and wrapping it around the root, or you could go with the other method I just showed you. But yeah, anyways, I know this was a really quick video, but if you like this video, please make sure I like it. If you want to see more videos from me in the future, please make sure I subscribe and turn on post notifications so y'all never miss out on another video from me in the future. With that being said, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video.